Hello and welcome to today's video. Now, I'm in the process of moving house and I'm currently packing all my belongings into a million boxes and it's going into a storage locker for a number of months. I'm not going to have access to all my pens and inks and everything for a while. I'm going to have a small selection of pens I really want to use and, stuff like that. But part of going through my massive pen collection has been culling it back a little bit and working out what I really want and love. And one thing I realized I haven't done in a while is like a top 5 pens video. I've done a few of these in the past, and I normally do one at the end of each year, but I thought this was a good opportunity to present one today. So today, we are going to look at my top 5 pens in my collection as it stands right now. If you ask me this question tomorrow, you might get 5 different pens. We're going to start today with a pen, a highly commended pen, if you will, and that is this pen. This is the Gravitas Pens Delrin. Now, Gravitas is a brand that I have shown a lot of love to over the years. I think that Ben over there makes amazing pens. And his design skills are second to none. And this Delrin pen, I think, is one of the great examples of what he does. It's such a simple, elegant pen, and, kind of no frills, but super well engineered and everything. So this is my highly commended. I have it here with a steel Jowo medium nib, and it writes beautifully. It's comfortable in the hand, and just a pen I really, really enjoy. So I'm going to talk through the 5 pens, and then I'm going to do a writing sample with them, just so you can see them in action. But coming in at highly commended is the Gravitas Pens Delrin. Number 5 now, and I'm going to work up to number 1. And a lot of these aren't going to be a surprise to anyone. These are all pens I've had in my collection for a while. The order changes occasionally. New ones come in and move out, things like that. But they're all pens that I love. So number 5 is this, the Pilot Custom 823. Now, I have referred to this pen on many occasions as being close to the perfect fountain pen, and I stand by that 100%, like absolutely bang on 100%. Now, the only reason this pen isn't higher up in the list is because in a way it has been superseded by another pen, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But this has a great vac filling system. I really like the simplicity of the design, the elegance, the classic nature of the design. It's just a beautiful fountain pen with one of the most unique nibs in my entire collection. I think writing with this nib feels kind of special, and you'll see that in action in just a bit. Now, coming in at number 4 is a pen that is week by week becoming more and more one of my absolute favorite pens. I can't, when I first got this pen, I thought it was okay, and I could see why everyone raved about it, but in particularly recent months, this pen just grows and grows in my estimation. It is the Pelikan M805. Traditional 800 model, but with the silver trim, so it's an 805. Just a beautiful classic pen design, but a wonderful, wonderful, juicy medium gold nib on it. And it is an expensive pen. In fact, a lot of the pens that I'm showing today are more expensive, and I want to talk about that in just a little bit. But yes, at number 4 on my list, the Pelikan M805, great size in the hand, perfect sort of for really long writing sessions or even short writing sessions. Just a beautiful pen and a great, great, great writer. Okay, number 3 on my list today is this. This is the Lamy 2000. Probably the most talked about pen on my channel, maybe behind one other pen. It is my favorite everyday writer pen. I carry this pen happily every day with me, wherever I am, whatever I'm doing. It writes beautifully. It's got a great nib, nice ink capacity, not huge, but decent, because it's got a piston filling mechanism. But just generally speaking, a really nice pen, and unassuming, and sort of, yeah, really nice on the page and nice in the hand, and it posts beautifully, which I love, and the balance is always great. So, Lamy 2000 here in the Macrolon finish, coming in at number 3 on my list. Okay, I mentioned the fact that the Pilot Custom 823 had been superseded, and that is because of this pen. This is the Pilot Custom 845 Urushi, and this is a flat top pen, which is my preference. I'll just show them alongside each other here. You can see they're very, very similar, and yeah, I like flat top, and I also find the filling system, being a cartridge converter, a lot easier to clean on the 845. Beautiful feel in the hand, really lovely. This has a fine nib on it that writes superbly and consistently and reliably, and just really, really lovely. Really, really enjoy this pen so much. This is the newest pen to me on this list, and it's probably one of the ones that will stay in my collection the absolute longest. Like, I'm going to find it very hard to ever part with this pen if I had to. It's just a stunning, stunning writer. And then number 1 on my list will be no surprise to anyone, the Visconti Homo Sapiens Bronze Age, my version here nicknamed Dame Etna, and it is just the perfect pen. It's got a great weight, great size, very, very cool material. I enjoy it immensely. Immensely enjoy this pen. I think it is just got such a great, cool look about it. Unique kind of design, great nib, great writer, great, you know, sort of, it's got once again a decent ink capacity. Just a really darn cool pen. And I love it. And the story behind me getting it, which I've covered in other videos, means it means a lot to me. I'd wanted it for a long time. Yeah, so my Visconti Homo Sapiens Bronze Age coming in at number 1 on the list. Okay, let's do this writing sample now, just for those playing along at home. The paper today is Irish paper pad, but let's start with the highly commended, the Gravitas Delrin. This is a medium steel nib, and the ink in this today is Diamine. Mon Bodo's hat. A lovely purple ink. You can see this pen writes really beautifully. It writes smooth and wet. It's gorgeous. Just a really, really lovely pen. So my highly commended today, the Gravitas Pens Delrin fountain pen. Okay, now time for number 5 on the list. We have the Pilot Custom 823 with a broad nib, and the ink in this today is Pilot Iroshizuku Tsukiyo. Beautiful ink, gorgeous, gorgeous pen, writes nice and wet and smooth. And as I said in the early description, this particular nib is really kind of unique in my collection in how it writes, and the feel on the page is quite special. It's kind of not soft or bouncy, it's just kind of got this nice suspension about it. So when you're writing, you really just feel the pen going with you. I've got, you know, high-end pens here with, you know, nice gold nibs and palladium nibs, things like that. But this one is a definitely unique feel. So number 5, the Pilot Custom 823. Okay, so now coming in at number 4 on this list today is the Pelikan M805 here with a medium nib, which you can see is as broad, just about as the broad Pilot nib. And the ink in this today is Diamine Eau de Nil. What a gorgeous tealy ink this is. And clearly this pen writes absolutely beautifully. It's wet, it's smooth, it's luxurious on the page. It's a super, super enjoyable pen to write with, great in the hand. There's a reason why a lot of reviewers and a lot of the general public agree that the 805 model, or the M805 or M800 model, is pretty much, as close as a lot of pens get to being perfect. Okay, so now number 3 on the list is this, the Lamy 2000. I've spoken so much about this pen in the past. You can watch a million videos about it. Number 3, the Lamy. Oh, might be running out of ink. Yeah, almost completely dry, this one. Lamy 2000. Just a quick dip of it. Medium nib. The ink is Waterman. Serenity Blue. This is a gorgeous pen that writes so nicely. Absolute favorite of mine. As I said, watch any of my videos. Yeah, it's completely dry. In fact, you can see through the ink window there's nothing left. I use this pen a lot, and with an ink like this a lot. So yes, the Lamy 2000 coming in at number 3. So many videos on my channel about that pen. Just a dream pen. Okay, so now we come to number 2, which was the Pilot Custom 845 Urushi. Much like the 845, or 823, sorry, I consider this pen to be pretty much perfect. So we have the Pilot Custom 845 Urushi with a fine nib. The ink in this is Leonardo. Oh, terrible writing. Is it deep black or just black? I will just put black. It's their standard black. Such a nice black ink, but a really beautiful pen for writing. Great in the hand. It's a really, really lovely, lovely pen. And so I picked this up last year, and I really haven't looked back. And then lastly, we have the Visconti Homo Sapiens Bronze Age here. My number 1 pen. Yeah, I think everyone knows this was going to be top of this list. If you've followed my channel, or I've done this all completely wrong. So it's a Visconti Homo Sapiens Bronze Age with a fine nib, as the Palladium nib, which I really love. The ink in this is Sailor Ink Studio number 752. It's hard to remember those numbers. I love the inks, but like, there's nothing that grabs you on the name. What a great ink this is, also, I've got to say. But the Homo Sapiens model from Visconti is one of their classics. They've used it in a number of different styles of pen now and everything, and it's just a beautiful pen model. But I think the Bronze Age, with that bronze and then the lava pen material, I think makes a wonderful, wonderful pen. And when you get a nib like this that writes as well as this one, there's a reason why these pens have been so popular. So obviously, aside from my terrible handwriting that's chopped and changed around today, one thing that you can clearly see is that a lot of these pens are quite expensive. You're talking well over $1,000 Australian, around $1,000 Australian, around 400 Australian, around 800 Australian, around another 500 Australian, and then, not terribly expensive, but sort of well over 100 Australian for the Delrin as well. These are not inexpensive pens, and that is not lost on me either. And of course, there are a number of less expensive pens that I really, really love. I'm a massive, massive fan of the Faber-Castell Loom, of the TWSBI Eco, as well as a bunch of pens in that intermediate or custom pen level. But there's a reason that these pens have achieved this level in my collection. And that is because they all write really, really well. Obviously, there's a difference between a steel nib and a gold nib on the page. And I'm not fussy about nibs. I like a really good steel nib, but there is often a slightly, special experience writing with a gold nib. And of course, these pens also come with unique features. I love the Macrolon finish of the Lamy 2000. I love the lava material used in the Homo sapiens. I think things like the custom Urushi 845 and the custom 823 from Pilot, they are classic, beautiful pens with incredible nibs. So there is a reason these pens are expensive. The parts and the features that they use and the engineering that goes into them push them into a higher price point, as do the brands. You've got Pelikan, Pilot, Lamy, Visconti, really high-end brands represented here. But they're beautiful pens, and for me, they write really well. You can see that in the video. They all write really, really well, despite the Lamy 2000 running out of ink almost completely. Yes, there's a lot going for these pens, and I love them, and I love having them in my collection. So obviously your top 5 is going to be different, and this isn't a top 5 of the best pens in the world. These are my favorite pens in my collection. The pens I lean to the pens I reach for when I want to use something that is going to make me feel excited about writing. Or, if I know I'm only going to have 1 or 2 pens inked, I want to have something special that I can enjoy. This is where I go. And so for the next few months, I'm not going to have access to some of these. And I will so happily have them back in my hand when I'm established in my new place. Thank you for watching this video today. I hope you found it interesting and useful. Please like and subscribe, hit the notifications button, all that kind of stuff. If you've got products you think I should be looking at, or if there is a way you would like to support the channel, I'd really love to hear from you. Please leave a comment below with what your favorite pens are. And as I said, they will be different to mine, and mine will be different to everyone else's, and as will yours, because that's what makes this hobby so much fun. It's the fact that we get to, find what we love and get to sort of enjoy supporting everyone else with what they love. So this is my list. So thank you for watching, and in the meantime, enjoy your pens, enjoy writing, and I'll talk to you soon.